Emma Hammett, the founder and CEO of First Aid for Life and firstaidforpets.net, and the author of First Aid for Dogs. Today I'm going to give you a brief overview with some top tips as to how to travel safely with your pets, be they dogs, cats, rabbits, guinea pigs or any other pet that you have. If you have to travel with them, there are some sensible precautions that you should think about, and some that you may not have thought about before. The Animal Welfare Act 2006 ensures that owners are responsible for the welfare of their animals, and that includes both inside vehicles and outside vehicles. And the Highway Code stipulates that dogs, cats and other animals must be suitably restrained so that they cannot distract you while you're driving or cause any injuries to you or themselves. And so that is the law and that is the requirements. So failure to properly restrain your pet may also invalidate your car insurance. So it's important. So before you travel and plan a long journey, plan your route. Make sure you give time for stops and factor in contingency plans for delays. Ensure that your pet, that you've thought about the size and their temperament and how often they might need to stop, and that you have also factored in whether or not they get car sick, because pets do get travel sick. Unless you are taking your pet to the vet in an emergency, please don't travel with them if they're seriously injured, they're bleeding, they're vomiting, they're feeling unwell, if they're newborn, or if they are heavily pregnant or they've just given birth, because it's just not kind and it will cause more distress to your pet. Obviously, if it's a short distance to the vet, that's completely different. When you are getting them used to some sort of a travel crate or something, then let them sniff around in the car first. Let them acclimatise and feel comfortable where they're going to be. And you can put a favourite toy or a blanket where you would like them to sit to encourage them to get in and out and feel comfortable. And even better than that, if you have a specific travel crate you would like them to use, then make sure you've got special pet toys that they love, their own blanket, and have it somewhere comfortable where they like to be with the door open so that they can run in and out and they can sort things out and feel completely comfortable and that it's a familiar environment for them. All cars should have a first aid kit, and make sure that you, as well as your human first aid kit, if you regularly travel with pets, that you have suitable pet first aid contents in there as well, such as chew-resistant bandages, things to stop bleeding, an absorbable mat that they can sit on, a foil blanket to keep them warm, and think about how you would scoop them up if they were injured and they'd been hit by a car. So things like a parcel shelf is very sensible and a good way of scooping them up if that's the situation. Back to travel sickness, let your pet eat a couple of hours before you travel and don't have a really heavy meal, and let them have a decent bit of exercise before you put them in the car as well. And sometimes if pets can look out of the window, it can make them more motion sick. So it might be an idea to turn their crate away so that they can't see out of the window if that seems to make things worse. Secure the carrier carefully, obviously, so that if you have to brake sharply, they're not going to go flying as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you can get harnesses and specific pet seat belts that you should be using for larger animals. Stop regularly, allow them to go to the loo, and make sure that they have easy access to drinking water. If it's a really hot day and you have the pets travelling in the boot, be conscious as to where the sun is, because sadly there are instances every year where there has been, you're stuck in a traffic jam and the sun is beaming in, and pets have died from heat stroke in the back of a car as a result of, or heat exhaustion as a result of that sun overheating them, and the poor owner not realising that, poor owner, poor pets, that is the situation. So do be aware, whilst you're in motion it's less of an issue because air conditioning and things and the air will circulate. But if you're stuck in a traffic jam, it can lead to fatalities. And obviously never leave a pet in the car on their own on a hot day. Even if you have the window open, pets die. Every single year pets die from that. I hope that's been helpful. I hope I've given you some things to think about. That's Emma Hammett from firstaidforpets.net.